Now you are welcome to part 2 of questions and answer. We are in number 10. He said what? The two forces F1 equal to what? 3.0 Newton X and then minus what? 3.0 Newton Y rather S bar and Y bar. Now I want to change my marker, sorry. Then this F1. F2 is what? They now said and F2 is equal to what? Minus 6.0 Newton X, then plus what? Plus what? 4.5 Newton Y bar in vector. Is it what? On a particle, what third force F3 will make the what? The net force or the net resultant force on the particle 0. So F3 is equal to what? Resultant force should be what? F1 plus F2 plus F3 for this question. But they said what we make, we first that we apply on F3 on the particle to make everything 0. That's what we are looking for now. So we equate everything to be 0. So this one has what? 3 Newton S bar minus 3.0 Newton Y unit vector plus what? Minus 6.0 Newton X plus what? 4.5 Newton Y plus F3 equal to what? 0. So what we're going to do now is that add this together. What do we have? Minus 3.0 Newton S bar. Then add this and this together. We're going to have plus what? 1.5 Newton Y bar plus F3. Now let's make F3 subject of formula by taking them there. So we're going to have F3 equal to what? 3.0 Newton X bar. If you take it minus, become plus minus 1.5 Newton Y bar. That is F3 now. That is in force now. But they said what? They said what? What is the third force? Third force F3 will make the net force to be equal to 0. So our answer is this is the vector form, but they solve F3 in form of magnitude and direction because option A is saying what? 3 Newton 27 degree below my negative x axis. B says what? 3 Newton 27 degree below the negative x axis. C says what? That should be above below the negative positive x axis. So that's the positive x axis. Then this one says what? 3.4 27 degree below the positive x axis. This says what? 3.4 27 degree below the negative x axis. I haven't stated all the options. So what we're going to do now is to find it. Now looking for magnitude, already this is a vector form. So looking for magnitude, we have the square root of what? 3.0 all square plus what? Minus 1.5 all square. What do you have? Quickly. Then how do you find direction? We would have an inverse of what? 1.5 the y component over what? The x component is what? Now we remove minus. Minus is to show us the quadrant. Which quadrant? If I want to ask the class then, that we find this. This one is positive s, negative y, negative s, and positive y. And what we have is negative y and positive s. That should be what? Fourth quadrant. And that fourth quadrant is what? This one is theta. Is equal to what? What is our angle there? We have gotten, let's get the magnitude, yes, of F3. 11. 3.35, which is approximately 3.4. Yes, we have that in the option. Then what about the value? The angle direction? 36.57. Excellent. 0.57, which is about approximately what? 27. Excellent. Yeah, and then we can interpret our answer as what? 27 degree below the what? The what? Positive what? So that so our answer would be what? 3.4 approximately Newton from 27 degree below what? Positive below positive. The answer. The magnitude is what? 3.4 Newton. Okay, so that is all that. Now the next thing we want to do now is what? We are done with that one. That one should be option what? We have option A, not the answer. Okay, we have option C, 3.427 degree below the positive x-axis. Now let's move to number 10. We have number 11. Now they say a particle velocity 1 meter per second, 2 meter per second, 3 meter per second. You can have it, you can. So we have a particle 1 meter per second, 2 meter per second, 3 meter per second, and 4 meter per second. Now, if you want to solve this one now, then this particle is what? We have what? First one is 1 meter per second, 2 meter per second. The third one is what? 3 meter per second. Then the fourth one is what? 4 meter per second. Those are the what? S. Then we have Y components. Those are the things we have. Now, having done that, now what is the first angle there? The first angle is what? The first one is what? What is the first angle for this one? Let me create angle space for them. You say what? They are what? Inclined at an angle of 0 degree. First one is 0. Second one is what? 60 degree. Then the third one is what? 150 degree. And the last one is what? 300. They are arranged what? Respectively, or up in the respectively to the positive x-axis. So all these angles are measured from the positive x-axis. Actually, if you want to really draw them, this what? 1 meter per second is what? Is 0 here, is along here, 1 meter per second. Then if you want to draw it down 60 degree, 60 degree is what? Is 2 meter per second. Then we have what? 3 is 150 from here, 150, 3, that is what? Meter per second, that is 150. Then if you want to have 300, should be above what? 270. So that is 300, 4 meter per second. So if you want to draw it, it's always what? From the positive x-axis according to the question. It's not always, but according to the positive question given to us. So this one had what? 1 cos what? 0. We want to resolve it since they are all measured from what? Positive x-axis. Here, 1 sin 0 quickly. 2 cos 60 degree. 2 sin 60 degree. Here is what? 3 cos what? 150 degree. 3 sin 150 degree. The next one is what? 4 cos 300 degree. 4 sin what? 300 degree. So you what? Add it together. What do you have? Okay. Minus 0.5 meter per second. 866 meter per second. So this one should be in which quadrant? So it should be what? This negative x and what? Positive y. So our distance should be what? Second quadrant. So in that case, this one will now be what? Theta. Let us find the magnitude. The resultant velocity VR will now be what? What is our normal vector distance of this one? 0.5 what? X bar plus what? Plus what? 0.866 what? Y bar. If you want to write it this way, you can still write it I and J. So what about the resultant in magnitude? That be what? Minus 0.5 square plus what? 0.866 all square. What do we have there? 1 on the dot approximately. So what about our theta? An inverse of what? The x component, the y component was 0.8660, then over what? 0.5. Let's forget about minus because we are using it to detect our quadrant. Yes? 59.99. Approximate was 60 degrees. So you cannot interpret. It will now be what? West what? Abi? West 60 degree what? North. If you want to calculate this, that be what? 30 abi? You can say what? North what? West or what? You can use it on this one. You can say here is what? 60 abi? Here is what? 30. You can interpret with that one now. Here is what? South and east. You can do that. This is alternate, vertically opposite angle are equal. Vertically opposite angle are equal. So here is equal to this, while here is equal to this. So you can do that one and calculate. But let's solve for the reason. Now be 60 degree what? North of west, abi? Here will be 30 degree what? west of what? North. Excellent. So you don't have time. Let's move to the next one. Yes. The next one is what? It's saying force is 2 Newton. Forces. Let me clean this. Forces. You say what? Force is 2 Newton. 4 root 3 Newton. 8 Newton. 2 root 3 Newton. And 4 Newton are what? At the point. At the point. Now, let's say this is the point at point A. I mean, in the direction of AB, that means this one is at 2 Newton is acting here. Then AC is acting here. That is 4 root 3 is acting here. Yes. AD is what? Let's say what? 8 Newton according to the question. Then we have what? 4 Newton. I mean, 2 Newton, 2 root 3 Newton. 2 root 3. 2 root 3 Newton. Yeah. Then lastly, we have what? 4 Newton acting what? Along this what? This AE, then AE and AF. That is it. So acting along AB, AC, AD, AE and AF respectively. If what? B, if A, B, C, D, E, F form a regular what? Hexagon. Form a regular hexagon. So that means this one, this one, this one, this one. So they form a regular hexagon. So that means they form a regular hexagon. This hexagon here is equal to this, equal to this, equal to this, equal to this. So how many shape? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's an hexagon. You say what? Now that means this side is what? Is one side of the hexagon. That is what? Inferior angle of the hexagon. So, but for you to what? This is what? Theta, 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 theta. I mean 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, these 4 angles now form the what? They are formed by each of these what? These forces. To calculate it, you are going to use what? 90 into like a what? 2n minus 4 all over what? N number of forces minus 1 times what? Number of sides. Is number of sides. To get theta. So to get theta, you find what? Number of forces minus 1 times number of sides is 6. Then this number of sides 2. So what do you have now? 90 into bracket what? To get each of the angles. Go to get each. So this one had what? 2 times 6 minus 4 divided by number. What total number of forces? 5 minus 1. What is number of sides times 6? What do you have? That will give us what? This is what? 10 minus 4, 6. Then that is 12 minus 4, 8. 8 times what? 720. 720 divided by what? 24. That will give us what? Each of the angle. 30. Excellent. So in that case now, this one that is touching it, the new then the 2 Newton will be what? 0. This here is 30 now. Here will be what? 30 degree because you are moving like this. The next one will be what? 60. Abi? The next one will be what? 90. The next one will be what? 120. So here we have 0, 30, 60, 90, 120. So you can now resolve it as what? Don't forget this formula. This formula can be applied when the number of what? Of forces is what? Is great or is less than what? Less than the number of sides. Number of sides. Then if what? Number of forces is equal to number of sides, use what? Theta equal to what? 360 over what? N. Please take note of that. This one is what? When number of forces is equal to what? Number of sides. Number of forces is equal to number of sides. So take note of that. You use this formula. But when number of forces is what? Is not equal to what, or is less than number of sides, you use this formula to get each angle. So here will now be 2 cos what? 60 0, 2 sin 0. Here what? 4 root 3 cos 30, 4 root 3 sin 30 degree. Here will now be 8 cos 60 degree, 8 sin 60 degree. The next one is what? 2 what? Root 3 what? Cos what? 90 degree. 2 root 3 sin 90 degree. Cos 90 and sin 90. There is 4 cos 120. The next one what? 4 sin 90 degree. 120. So we sum them together. What do we have? Here will now be what? What is total? 10 Newton, yes. 10 root 3 Newton. So what do we have now? After getting that, now we are going to write our force that's acting on the total force acting on what? Or the resultant force acting on at point A will now be what? 10I plus 10 root 3J. That is the resultant force. Please take note of that. Having gotten our resultant force, it might makes the work very easy. Very easy. So we can now find what? Magnitude. What magnitude? 10 what? Square plus what? 10 root 3 or what? Square. What do you have? Root what? 400. And that will give us what? 20 Newton. That is it. So having gotten that now, that is magnitude. What about the direction? Theta equal to tan inverse of what? 10 root 3 Newton divided by what? 10. What do you have? What do you have what? 60 degree. So we can interpret it. Where will it fall from? You have to interpret and send your answer to us. This is east, this is north, this is southwest. It normally is supposed to fall in the first quadrant. I hope you know. Because this is plus now. So if you fall in the first quadrant, you can interpret 60 degree. Interpret the answer. Or you can, this is 60 degree above the what? The positive x axis can be what? If 60 degree what? North, because it's lying on what? Can take 30 here. You have north 30 degree what? East. You can still introduce off to it, and as we said, you'll be doing. Next question says what? That is number what? 13. Number 13 says forces. This one is a different kind of question entirely, and I want us to look at it. Very interesting. It's a very different kind of question. Very different kind of question. It says what? Forces 10 Newton, 12 Newton, 5 Newton, 9 Newton, P Newton, and Q Newton act at a point or on a point in the what? In the direction parallel respectively to the what? AB, BC, CD, EF, and what? FA of a regular hexagon A, B, C, D, E, F. Now, if the forces are in equilibrium, find the what? The magnitude of P. Now, if you check this, so how many forces are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 forces. What is the side given to us here, class? It is 6-sided shape. So hexagon is a 6-sided shape. So since the number of forces equals the number of sides, I will use the 360 over n, which is here have the number of sides. So that will now be 360 divided by 6 to get each of the angle that will be given to them. But this here will be 0 because that is the reference angle. So that will now give us what? 60 degree. So if you have got this, is the option A says what? Option A says 12 Newton, B says what? 4 Newton, D says what? 13 Newton, D. C says 13 Newton, D says 16 Newton, E says none of the above. So what I want to do, we simply what? Give this one with 0, then 60, 120, then add 20 to this one. I would have add 20, I mean 60 to this other, add 60 to 180, add 50 to this 240, add 50 to this to resolve it. S, Y. So you do that 10 cos 0, 20, 12 cos 60, 5 what? Cos what? 120, and change the marker. You have 9 cos what? 180. You have P cos what? 240. Then Q cos what? 300 degree. Now, I don't notice that here will now be 10 sin 0, 12 cos what? 60 degree, sin 60. Then here will now be 5 sin what? 120, yes. 9 sin what? 180. Then you now go P sin what? Then here will now be Q sin what? Now, what you will do for me is to what? You add all this one together to give us the resultant. And what is the resultant? 0. Because why? They said what? The system is in equilibrium. So the resultant here is also what? 0J. So the resultant here is 0I, 0G. So you add all this one together to be equal to 0. Add all this one to be equal to 0. So thus 10 cos 60 or cos 0 plus what? 12 cos 0 cos 60, 5 cos 120 plus 9 cos 180 plus P cos what? 240 plus what? Q cos what? 240 equal to what? 0. That will give us equation 1. Let's solve it. This one will give us what? 10 plus what? 6 plus what? What? Minus about 2.5. Confirm it for me, please. This one will give us what? Minus 9. Cos 0 is what? Minus 1 times. Then plus P cos what? Cos 240 and cos this thing will give us what? Minus 0.5P plus 0.5 what? Equal to 0. So let's add this one. This is 16. 16 minus 9 give us 7. 7 minus this one. So that will give us minus 0.5P plus 0.5Q equal to 4.5. Set the calculator in simultaneous equation. So we are going to need it later. Then this one, well, let's first of all deal with this one first. This is 0 now. 10 cos what? Sin 0 now. Let's do that one first. The education 12 sin 60 plus 5 sin what? 120. Yes. Plus what? 9 sin 180 plus P sin 240 plus what? Last Q sin 240. What do you have there? This one is 0 now. This one will give us what? 12 times 0.6, 0.866. 10.39. Yes. Plus. Yes. 5. Yes. 4.33. Excellent. Yes. 9. This one is 0. Abi? Okay. Plus what? P sin theta sin 240. 860 P plus that means Q 300. Sorry, is 300. Ali is 300. Yes, agree. This one is 300 too. You make mistake here. This is 300. Let me confirm this, please. 300. Yes. The last one, I think the Q. Okay, put it as 300. Okay. Then what about the second one? 3 times 300. Minus 0 again. Okay. Minus 0.860 Q. Have you? Come to 0 because it's in equilibrium opportunity. So what we have? We have minus 0.866. So let me clean this one now. So that we can see it clearly. So this one now will give us what? The minus 0.866p plus what? Minus again, I mean, 866q equal to what? Then this one will go there, I mean, this plus this will give us what? That will now go there as what? Minus what? I mean, now, this is what? Plus now. When you go to the other side, you get 14 point what? 70. 70. Excellent. So equation 2. So if you get these two now, this is 1. Let's solve 1 and 2 simultaneously. 1 is what? Minus 0.5p. So now, let's solve that. Plus what? 0.5q is equals to what? 4.5. So what do we have? This 1 and this 2. Yes? What do we have as our answer there? We solve the two simultaneously. Solve the two simultaneously. Yes? So if you press calculator now, what do we have for the P? The P is what? Huh? 13. The first one, the one that appears first is what? 13 Newton. Then the second one is what? 4 Newton. Let me confirm it. Let me calculator. Sorry. I want to confirm the value. Sorry. We have minus 0.5p plus 0.5p. Then 4.5 is what? Okay. Okay. So our P should be what? 3.99. 3.99, which are community 4. That's what it should be. Then Q should be equal to what? 14. Meaning 13 Newton. If you press your calculator, that's what you're, because number one, the P is appearing first. So if you solve your calculator, that's what you're going to have first answer. So if you check all the things I've solved and see how far that the solution is. Now let's move to the next one because they said the answer should be what? We have 4 in the option from B. He said forces 10 Newton, 2 Newton, 12 Newton, 5 Newton, 3 Newton, P and Q Newton act on point P in the direction of parallel respectively to the side A, B, B, C, C, D, E, F, and F, A of a regular hexagon A, B, C, D, E, F. If the forces are in equilibrium, find the magnitude of P. A is 12 Newton, B 4 Newton, C 13 Newton, D 16 Newton, E none of the above. So go with 4 Newton for P because it's magnitude of P you are looking for. Now let's go. We have just 2 more questions to solve so that we can now. I'll give you the last one as an assignment. Now it says what? A particle of mass 10,000 what? 10,000 gram. Particle of mass 10,000 gram is acted upon by what? By force of 2 Newton and what? 4 root 2 Newton and what? 8 Newton. 8 Newton, okay. Inclined at what? 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, and what? And is it 30, 45, 60, and 120 respectively. So there should be 4 forces there. So there should be what? 4 forces. Let's go through it again. You say what? A particle of mass 10,000 gram is acted upon by forces 2 Newton, 4 root 3 Newton, 6 Newton, and 8 Newton. So there should be 4 forces. So this one is 4 root 3 Newton, root 2 Newton, 8 Newton, 6 Newton, and 8 Newton. These are the 4 forces. What is the first one? 30, because they say respectively. That is the way they are arranged. The second one is what? 45 degree, yes. 60 degree, 120 degree. So this is what? X and Y. Now what do? You first of all find their what? Resultant along the X and Y. Which spread 2 cos what? 30, 2 sin 30 quickly. Yes, what? 4 root 2 cos what? 45. 4 root 2 sin what? 45 degree. What the next one? 6 cos what? 60 degree. 6 sin what? 60 degree. 8 cos what? 120 degree. Then 8 sin what? 120 degree. Simple. Now say what? If you find the what? To a given what direction, the magnitude of the resultant force and the acceleration. What are we looking for? We are looking for magnitude of the what? The what? Resultant force and the acceleration. To find the magnitude of the resultant force, what you need to do is to sum this one together. Resultant force. What do you get there when you sum them together? 4.73 what? 2 Newton. Yes. The other one will give us what? 17.124 Newton. Okay. So resultant now will now be what? That means we have in resultant force now equal to 4.732 I plus what? 17.124 J. Now, but remember, resultant is equal to MA according to Newton's second law of motion. So, but the magnitude, don't forget, of resultant equal to MA. So let's find the resultant, magnitude of resultant quickly. 4.732 all square plus what? 17.124 all square. Yes. We can find acceleration in terms of vector. If you want to find acceleration, now the acceleration equal to what? This resultant force in vector over A. Please take note of that. Over mass rather. You just divide everything by mass. This now the 4.732 I plus 17.124 J divide by mass, which is what? 10,000 grams. If depending on what you can convert to kilogram now. How do you convert to kilogram in standard unit? You divide by what? 1,000. If you divide by 1,000 to convert to kilogram, I would have what? 10 kilogram. Okay. So this one can be 10 kilogram. So that your answer will now be what? 0.4732 I plus what? 1.714 J. That means acceleration in vector form. Acceleration in vector form is this one in case they ask you. But they know out of this is the resultant force, which is the answer. What's the answer of that one? 17.77 Newton. That is in magnitude. This is what? Resultant force in what? In vector form, in magnitude and direction. And easy. So if they ask you to find the resultant force in magnitude and direction, you see them, this indicates direction. I told you unit vector indicates direction, while each of this one indicates magnitude along the component, along the X and Y. So now this is the acceleration in vector form. But if you want to now find the acceleration in scalar form, you now what? Just divide this one by the mass. What if you divide by 10? What's that? So acceleration will now be what? 1.777 meter what? Per second square. So remember that you can still get this answer through the finding magnitude of this one. You still get the same answer. You use magnitude like this formula to solve the get magnitude. So that is the answer. So let's go to number 15. They say what? The number 15 is not too common. It's not a common question. So I want us to solve, and I will leave the number 16 for us to solve and send your answer to the comment section. Number 15 is also not common. So let's solve number 15. Number 15 says what? What is the question? It says vehicle covers what? 600 what? 600 what? Meter on a bearing of what? On a bearing of what? Bearing of 40 what? So 7 degree. The second one say what? Then 500 meter on a bearing of what? bearing of 128. Yes. Third one says what? 700 meter on a bearing of what? Bearing of 207 degree. Yes. And then 400 what? Meter on a bearing of what? 283. 283 degree. You second of that. Determine the resultant displacement of the vehicle. That means in magnitude and what? Direction. You want to find the resultant displacement of vehicle in magnitude and direction. Sorry. Now, how do you find the resultant displacement? Sorry for that, please. How do you find the resultant displacement in magnitude and direction? What we are going to do now is first of all resolve all this in vector form. Let's take it. Now, 47 now. What is 47? You first of all draw the bearing first. Hello. This one now be what? 47 should be what? Less than 90. This is 47. 47 degree. Trap or not? I told you. Then you now interpret in vector form. So to interpret in vector form, you have to move from the east anti-clockwise. Look at it. You move like this. So what is that angle? From the east to where it touches that 47. What is the angle? 43. Now that will be 43 degree vector angle. So if you want to resolve this one, now be what? 600 cos what? 43. Because this 43 is taken as a clockwise. Then y is what? 600 sine 43. So in that case now, the next one is 128. Look at 128 here. 128 is above what? 90 now. If you move it clockwise. Bearing, you have to start from the north. Then you disobey it by what? Calculating the angle of vector from what? East anti-clockwise. This 128. Your problem now will not be calculate the balance here. What will you balance? We remove 128 from 180. 54, abi? 52. Okay. If you calculate here to be 52, don't forget. Now, for us to calculate what? The angle now. You have to now what? This one is 128. You have to now move what? Anti-clockwise now to touch the point. Abi? So here is what? 90, 180, 270 plus what? 52. Please go and watch that. This what will now give us? 322. 22. So that will now give us what? 500 cos what? 322 degree. And 500 sine what? 322. Yes? Degree. Yes. The next one says what? Look at it. Let me draw that one here. Is what? North. So you start from here, north now, and rotate 207. 207 is above what? 180. Abi? Balance here. From here to this place 270. I hope you know. So this place 270 now. So if from this is 207, what will be the balance point here? That is 63 now. Abi? 63. Then you find from here to this place now. What do we have? This is 180 plus 63. So what will it give us? 180 plus 243. So 700 cos 243. 700 sine 243. The last one which I want to do is what? 283. That one was north, east, south, west. You rotate anti-clockwise on the bearing of 283. It is above 270 now. Then you remove what? 360. Everything here is 360 now. Remove it from 283, which is this one. Yes, what do you have? 283 remove from what? To get this place. Yes? From 360. 77. Now, that is 77 degree. We are now going to clean it back now. We want to now take the bearing angle. The bearing angle should be what? Should be measured from where? From the east anti-clockwise. That be the vector angle rather. So the vector angle, what now have? 167. I hope everything is clear now. 167 degree. 400 sine 167 degree. So what I want to do for me is to add this one together, x component, y components, add them together. What do you have? To get our resultant displacement. Yes. How do we get our resultant displacement? To add everything together so that we can now get our what? Don't forget to get your displacement. After getting it, you find what? To find it, what? I want to use sum of what? Displacement along the what? X component square plus displacement along the y component square. Yes? 125.28 meter. Yes? So go for the second one now. Second one. So this one is 125.28 all square plus is 43 is 322 minus 43236. So this one now will not be meter 2. So this one now be minus 43. You can find the magnitude for me. Don't forget the resultant displacement is what? The vector formula, the 125.28I minus 432.36J. Want to write it in vector form? Yes? Everything 450.14 meter. Abi? Or we can write it as what? 0.412 0.450 kilometer. Is not true? So now, how do you find direction? An inverse of what? You have 432.36 divided by 125.28. What do you have? Yes, take your time so that you can get the right answer there, please. 73 point what? 84 degree. So that is it. Now, but the question is, which quadrant will you find that now? This is east, this south, and this. Yes. Which quadrant will you find it? Yes. Fourth quadrant. Sorry for that. Fourth quadrant. So this one will go here. Fourth quadrant. This is first, second, third, fourth. Why is this fourth quadrant? Because the y is negative. Y is negative, and x is what? Positive. So in that case now it will be fourth quadrant. So if I want to interpret it 73 point what? Or let me approximate it 74 degree. So you can what? Interpret as what? East 74 what? Degree what? South. Abi? Or what? Here will now be what? 26. No, 16 rather. So that will now go. We have what? South 15 degree what? East, because this 15 is resting on the south. Why this one is resting on the east? 74 is resting on the east. 74. So please take note of that. 74 is resting on the east. 74. So if you want to now do it now, you can still pull off and take the east backward. Check other previous video. You can also say is what? 74 degree below the what? The positive what? Let's add it. So that's what I want to have. So these are the answer of video. The last one you are going to solve now is simply what? The one you are going to practice by yourself. I'll give you the question while you send your answer to the comment section. The options are there. Say two vectors y and x of magnitude 10 units and 4 units respectively inclined to each other at an angle of 150 degree. What is the component of the resultant in the direction of x? What is the component? I repeat again, two vector y and x of magnitude 10 units and 4 units respectively inclined to each other at an angle of 150 degree. What is the component of the resultant in the direction of x? A is minus 2.11 I indicates x direction. B says what? 4.66 I. C minus 4.66 I. D 5 I. E none of the above. Please solve that question and send your answer to the comment section. Till we see next time again, please click the like button and subscribe. Thank you. God bless you for watching. Thank you.